Yeah, this was a question posed in class the first day. Do you believe that there are currently aliens? I said no.
Going along with the space theme, I have a space-themed drink.
Okay. Interesting technique there. Wait, have you tried this before?
No, we're trying it for the first time. I've never tried this ever. Cheers. Wait, it's not terrible.
It's not that bad.
And I think when the lemon gets incorporated.
It's gonna be a whole new dimension. Like,
That's like,
yeah. So yeah, that song took quite a while to produce. It's a really harrowing thing. It's your art, and like you have that vision, and then you share that with people, and then it's no longer yours.
What's up, guys? This is a second episode of Yappy Hour, where I talk about anything and everything over drinks. Today, I have a really special guest. I've known him all my life. We've gone on a lot of family trips together, talking anything about tech, photography, videography. He's currently doing a PhD at Columbia, studying astronomy. Hi, Indigo. But he's a musician at heart. He has a single out right now on Spotify called Happy Place, all written, produced, sang by him. And yeah, I'm just really happy to take the time to just sit down and talk about space and music. So welcome, Justin.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for being on
I'll be here. No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really wanted to talk about just space, music, because I know those are it's topics that you're really into right now, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
Going along with the space theme, I have a space-themed drink.
Okay. I'm curious to know what this is.
Yeah, since for context, we're gonna see the solar eclipse on April 8th. We're driving all the way up to Syracuse just to see that, and the drink kind of looks like a solar eclipse.
Okay.
It has bourbon, coffee. I got decaf, so we could actually sleep tonight. And a couple of bitters in there. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'll try anything.
yeah, let's do it. Let me pull up the recipe actually.
You gotta pour it out for the camera.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 ounces of bourbon. I'm going to double it because two people, right?
Mm-hmm. Get that B-roll.
I know. But are you excited about the solar eclipse?
Yeah. I'm psyched. I got my solar, my eclipse glasses.
Oh, you got the
I have
glasses?
one for you, yeah.
Okay.
So those are like critical.
Yeah.
You can't look at the sun.
You'll die.
Yeah, well, you won't die. You'll get severe eye damage.
Okay, we don't want that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, my department's making like a huge deal out of it. And it's like, it's really cool because it happens really rarely. The next one's not happening until like 2044 or something like that. And it's super exciting.
Yeah, I think
But I haven't
really
actually
fun.
I haven't watched one.
That's
I don't think
coffee.
I've actually properly seen one.
Really?
Because there's the 2017 one. I think that was more in the western United States. We couldn't see it from here. Yeah, now that it's passing through New York,
you have to.
Prime time, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a day trip, and then hopefully it's not cloudy.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the historic cloud coverage for New York is it's not great.
Really?
It's 60-70% clouds.
Oof.
But I heard it's still worth it, even though it's gonna be cloudy.
Yeah.
But
oh, I didn't put ice. What am I doing?
Interesting technique there.
I don't know the actual technique, so
You're just going for it.
yeah. Don't people go like this?
Yeah.
Like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It looks more legit.
It's like a back and
Yeah.
yeah.
The strain. Oh.
Wait, have you tried this before?
This drink?
Or are we just trying it for the first time?
No, we're trying it for the first time. I've never tried this ever.
Wait, this is your creation, or?
Oh no, I
found
found it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Wait, what's in? Wait, I want a refresher on the ingredients.
Yeah, it's bourbon,
yeah.
coffee, simple syrup, and then I'm gonna put a dash of bitters.
Okay.
So this is I never knew how to pronounce
ANGOSTURA?
that. Yeah, that bitters. So dash of that, and then I also have orange bitters.
Okay.
As well.
I can't guarantee I'll like it, but I'll do anything for the views.
Me neither. Me neither. But it's already starting to look like an eclipse, because then I'll put the lemon in there.
Oh, is that the thing?
Yeah.
I was like, how's the drink supposed to look like an eclipse?
Kinda like the
it
sun.
turns.
Yeah. And then garnish with a lemon slice. It's like an eclipse a little bit.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
the
you know what I
sun.
mean? Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
I just processed that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
It's like,
yeah, what the?
it's kind of like a sun.
Yeah, oh, I see. No, cool.
I don't know if this is gonna be good. But I'm gonna have you rate it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I'm having this for the
I
first
don't
time.
have a great like drink rating system.
Okay.
But cheers.
Cheers. Wait, it's not terrible.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad.
Wait, I thought I would.
It's kind of good.
Yeah, what?
It tastes vanilla-y for some reason.
Yeah.
It kind of just
The
tastes
coffee
like
adds to it. I'm not even a coffee drinker, guys. Like, I don't know.
It's decaf, so we can sleep. It's
Wait,
kind of it's kind of syrupy almost.
It's very syrupy.
It kind of just tastes like a. Have you had those like maple syrup drinks?
Yeah.
With, like bourbon.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whoa, what the?
It's not bad.
There's like a lot going on, but like it's not bad.
Would you order this at like a bar?
I would, and that's saying something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Like obviously, because I don't drink coffee, I wouldn't drink like coffee drinks, like
Yeah.
coffee and alcohol. But this
Like
is not
you wouldn't
bad.
think that they would mix. Actually, it tastes like an espresso martini. A little bit.
From what I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not bad. It's like kind of creamy.
A little bit.
Like, yeah.
I think if I
it's like
added-
milky. Like,
Yeah. If I added an egg white, it could have been
oh.
even creamier. But then that might have been just an espresso martini.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I think when the lemon kind of gets incorporated,
Oh, yeah.
get
It's
better.
going to be a whole new dimension. Like,
That's like
Yeah.
pun intended, or
yeah. Oh,
not bad.
yeah.
I'm 2 for 2. Last time it was pretty good.
Last time it was good too.
Honestly, taste-wise, like a solid 8 or 9.
Ooh.
That's really good.
But yeah, I guess going back to the topics that we want to talk about, like
Yeah.
space and music. I wanted to kind of start with space.
Sure.
Because I guess from my perspective, like growing up with you and stuff, like we didn't really talk about space all too much.
Yeah.
So I guess I was just kind of curious, like where that started, like in
Yeah.
college or.
I think I had like the vaguest idea in high school.
Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
for some reason, like I don't know, I had like a math research project and
Yeah.
I like really looked into like Einstein's theory of general relativity, which is like this huge
Right.
theory. It's basically explaining how space-time is a concept. Like space
Yeah.
and time are linked together. Like they're not like separate. And you know, there's 4 dimensions essentially. That's
Yeah.
what constitutes the space-time. And I don't know, I was like really like, even though it was like really theoretical, I was like, okay, like what does this matter to me? Like on my day-to-day, like
Yeah.
it was just really cool to think about it. That was like my first like ever exposure into astronomy. Like I didn't grow up looking at the stars or like
Yeah.
knowing the constellations. I'm still really bad with like constellations.
Oh, that's kind of ironic.
yeah.
Given,
I know it's it's kind of sad. No, my girlfriend's like really good with constellations.
Oh, really?
I have to
Okay.
like get my sky app out.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
point it at the sky and like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's Jupiter. Oh, cool. Like you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where it started, and then like
Mm-hmm.
in college, I had like research experiences in like
Okay.
particle physics. Because when I went into college, I thought like, okay, I'm either interested in like astrophysics, which is like okay, space, the
Okay.
physics of space, or particle physics, like the
Smaller.
physics of the really small.
Yeah. It's like either big or small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I didn't quite vibe with my like research experiences in
Okay.
like particle physics.
That's fair.
So, but I really liked like my astrophysics experiences. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it'd be cool to get a PhD in this.
Yeah.
And then here I am. Like,
Studying it at Columbia.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, how's the experience been so far? Like, this is your first year at
Yeah,
PhD soon?
my
Okay.
first year. It has honestly been like the hardest thing I've ever
Really?
done to date.
Wow. Good for you, though.
Which
that
is like,
you're,
yeah, it's,
Yeah.
but like it feels like I've learned so much in that semester and a half than like
Yeah.
all my years in undergrad.
Really?
And I'm like learning things and then like I got to apply it like immediately to like research or like classwork. And yeah, it's like, it's just really like overwhelming. And like,
Yeah.
it's just like I have to like decompress my brain after after classes and you know make sure that I'm like taking care of myself and
Right.
like it's
Like outside. Yeah.
yeah, but it's like super cool. I can't lie, and like it's definitely been a lot.
Yeah. I mean, anything hard is, those are the stuff worth
Yeah.
pursuing, right? Like,
I guess I can't really compare it to like a 9 to 5. I mean, like there are moments in academia where you're just like not using as much brain power, but like you do have to be on to be productive.
Right.
Like completely on.
Yeah.
Thinking about like the hardest like shit ever.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
I mean, because you're on the cutting edge of like
yeah,
literally
you're
the
trying
world.
to
Like,
create knowledge.
yeah, like
new
you're
knowledge.
like it's new. Like
Yeah. There's like a lot that you have to learn, like fundamentals.
Right.
And I don't have a great grasp of that right now. I'm in classes right now. I didn't have a lot of exposure in that in undergrad.
Right.
So that's why I'm here in grad school. I'm like, okay,
Getting
I'm really like getting down
fundamentals.
to it. What is it? Like getting my hands dirty and like learning everything.
How much percentage would you say is it like the current research that's going on versus like fundamentals? Or would you say it's kind of like a good mix of both? Because you need both, right?
I think a lot of astronomy curriculums are a bit outdated in the sense of like they teach more fundamentals.
Yeah.
And that's also how it was in like physics too. They teach more fundamentals and like what's at the cutting edge. But at least, my department is wary of like, okay, we know we're not teaching you what you need to know to like understand like research talks and stuff.
Oh.
So we're like actually in the middle of revising our curriculum.
Okay.
And like making sure that like, the students actually learn what they want to learn. So like we have some input on that. And like the new curriculum's hopefully going to be in like next year.
Oh, okay, that's good. Because I feel like in college at least, like a lot of the stuff we learn is fundamentals, and then like it's just not relevant to when I'm working now.
Yeah,
so.
No, that's fair.
Especially with the topics that you guys are doing, like in science, everything's always changing, right? So you have to know what's the current thought behind this.
Yeah, and a lot of that exposure comes with like in research and maybe not more in classes, but I think more of it should come in classes.
But they're revising it, so.
Yeah.
Do you have one topic of research right now, or?
Yes.
Do you mind going into that, or?
Yeah,
is that like NDA, or?
No,
I don't
it's
know.
not.
Okay.
It's a little out there.
Okay, I'm ready.
But I think I
need to
like,
notice it.
so I'm really drawn to problems that like, I don't know, I really want to be at like the cutting edge of things.
Yeah.
And I think there are some fields in astronomy where like we know a lot about, I guess like galaxies from like a theoretical perspective. But like, I guess I'm drawn to like, what are we not able to know yet? And like, why? And like observationally, like what do we have to do to get there? The whole thing with like in physics, there's like a theory perspective and then there's like an observational or like experimental perspective.
Right.
So the theoretical groundwork always comes before the observation. Oftentimes, like Einstein's theory of general relativity is like, okay, like space-time is actually like curved, and like that's why we have planets traveling in like circular elliptical orbits. I'm kind of drifting from the topic right now, but I'm just sort of
you're good,
laying the groundwork of like,
yeah.
okay, there's theoretical, there's observational. I tend towards more observational topics.
Okay.
And right now, I am working on a project. My field right now is in exoplanets.
Okay.
Exoplanets are planets outside of the solar system.
Outside of our solar system?
Yes.
Okay.
Except they're within our galaxy. We have not observed any planets, I don't think, outside of our Milky Way galaxy. And I'm doing a kind of like unconventional topic in exoplanets.
Okay.
So when you think of planets, you probably think of them as spherical. They're like perfectly like symmetric, except that's not entirely the case in our solar system. So you might have heard like the Earth is like a little bit oblate. It's
like kind of oblong, like
it's called like an oblate spheroid. So it's like compressed at the poles a little bit, and like there's a bulge radially
at the middle
outward, in the equator.
Okay.
So we think that there are non-spherical exoplanets. The evidence that we have a lot in planetary science, the only evidence we have is our solar system, which is one star system out of the 100 million stars in our galaxy. So it's like a really small data point. So we just like, we're able to really see what goes on in our solar system, with much more detail. There's like NASA probes and like missions to like, Saturn and like Voyager, like that has done like a lot of cool stuff. But see this in our own solar system. You can actually like, if you look at a picture of Saturn, you'll see it's like a little bit, like you can see this non-spherical. Like it's just like a little
It's a little squish.
So I look at like squishy planets. So we haven't yet seen this in an exoplanet.
Okay.
It's an interesting problem because it hasn't been observed, and we technically do have the instruments. When I say instruments, I mean like telescopes.
Okay.
Like the technology to detect like non-spherical exoplanets. Recently, you might have heard of like the James Webb Space Telescope.
Oh, is that the really big one?
That's the one up in space. NASA launched it like 2 to 3 years ago.
Okay.
It was like during COVID, like there was like this huge.
Oh yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
we believe that we have the precision to detect this sort of oblateness in a planet. Yeah, my project is to sort of see like what kind of constraints we're able to detect of this oblateness. Like how well, maybe we won't actually detect like this percent oblate, but like how well can we quantify
the range,
those kinds of properties? With the James Webb Space Telescope. Yeah, so this method that we're using is called photometry.
Big photography.
Yeah, it is like big photography. So like, so we get like images and we're just like staring at like a couple pixels.
Yeah.
And we're noticing the changes in those couple of pixels. The couple of pixels being the star.
Yeah.
And then the planet crosses it. We receive less light, less like photons on our receiver, and our telescope.
That was it?
Yeah, and then like, okay, that was it, and that's like what we use as our data. It's like they're called light curves.
Oh, okay. I want to go back to the orbiting idea, because have you seen this new show on Netflix?
Is it the 3-body problem?
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it.
Your thoughts?
No, I don't have any thoughts.
Okay.
Because I want to read the book first.
I wanted to read it too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on my like everybody's been recommending it to me, and I'm like, I gotta read it soon.
Yeah.
Like,
but you learn about the idea in school or no?
Kind of.
Because I had to look it up before this because I was like, I want to talk about it.
Okay.
So
I could talk about like a related concept. So I mean, we don't think of things in like 3 bodies.
Because there's usually more. Right?
It depends on like how many bodies you're looking at. Like
bodies as in planets.
Yeah. It could be planets
or stars or like asteroids.
Yeah. So I guess how that's relevant to astronomy. A lot of like current day astronomy is writing code.
Okay. Interesting.
And like, it's observing and it's like we get data, write code to process and analyze
like
and
model.
like reduce that data into like something that like makes sense to us.
Okay.
We're able to write simulations, and these simulations are called n-body codes. What we're doing in these simulations is like modeling
what could happen,
the dynamics of maybe like asteroids and planets together.
Mm-hmm.
They could be like stars in a galaxy.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it's like thousands, which
That's
is like
ridiculous.
really like what we call computationally expensive. So
it's like not worth it, or
no, it just like takes a lot of time. So we have to run them on like supercomputers.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole branch of astronomy that's really interested in like high performance computing. And like I think a lot of like our use to society is in making faster supercomputers, not just like CPUs, but like also using GPUs and just like optimizing things.
Just
and
faster.
Like that's I think that's our most practical application to humanity. Because like all of this is just like, it seems very abstract. You're just like, why do I care if a planet's squishy? Why do I care about like how stars move in a galaxy? But I think the tools that we're developing are like something I'm like really interested in. I think it's what I'm actually most interested in.
Really?
These tools, like the methods we use in astronomy, rather than like the science itself. But I think the tools is like where this innovation is coming from.
Well, you've always been interested in technology. I mean, we've bonded over technology in general, like growing up. Like I remember watching just like MKBHD videos.
Yeah.
Like, oh, did you see like like the new iPhone drop? Like the new Android phone drop? Like, but that's cool that like that still kind of carries over to what you're interested in today.
Yeah, I think maybe that's like what got me interested in it in the first place. Like, what are the technical innovations happening in research like this cutting edge? Yeah.
Would you say like we can only do so much with our current technology? Like, would you say the technology is more the limiting factor right now, or like our knowledge of the universe is the limiting factor?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Like, is it like the tools or the theories?
Yeah, because even if we had a really good supercomputer, like if we can't comprehend it, like
I think I would argue that tools. Oh, this is going to be such a... If anybody like in my department sees this, I think tools are a limiting factor. And here's my perspective on this. So oftentimes we have like physics theory. We have like knowledge of like how a star works, how a galaxy works.
Okay.
But those come from observation, from actually seeing the thing.
Okay.
Like in real life. We're only able to confirm theories and like equations by observing things. And the way we observe things is these tools like telescopes, like advances in software that like process this data. I think that's where like the newest innovation is. Because like, theory can exist in a vacuum, I guess. Like you can kind of just like sit in a room and think about what could happen.
But
then there's like, okay, what actually did happen?
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm like more in the like observer camp. It's just like, okay, what is possible? Like, what can we see? What's the best that we can see? And,
Yeah.
you know, those kinds of things.
Pixar didn't happen.
Yeah.
with the
Yes.
exoplanets.
Yeah.
Like
Very
Pixar
true.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would agree with you because like I think the human mind can always evolve and adapt, and we're pretty adaptable, right? But like you said, if we can't like document it or we can't like see if it actually happened, then it's kind of doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's kind of like new information always changes how you think about things, no matter if it's astronomy or you know everyday life.
Any concept. Yeah.
It's especially true in astronomy. Like if we don't see anything new happening, then we can't update our current theories.
Right.
I mean, there's a whole separate conversation of like the human connection to astrophysics. And,
interesting. Do you mind expanding on that?
All right, so let me think about how to explain this. I was like, I did mention it. Well, there's a view in astronomy that like we're only seeing it from the human perspective. I don't know. Humans are like we're subjected to bias. You know, we can sometimes see things that aren't there, and humans can be a limiting factor in like discovering new things just because of like how we organize ourselves to do that science. How we think about that science in terms of like biases and. Like there's a whole like societal component to science. That I think a lot of scientists don't think about.
Like acknowledge too much.
Yeah, I've always been very interested in that because you know in college I studied physics, but I also studied
philosophy as well. Yeah.
I often tell people that the reason why I'm interested in getting a PhD is I literally wrote on my application. I said like, oh, it's not like I'm really into stars or galaxies or planets. Like I learned about like how science is done from a philosophy perspective, like the philosophy of doing science. It's like the theory of how to practice science. And I think that's not often thought about a lot. And when you're like a practicing scientist, what are these fundamentals of like, how do I make sure what I'm actually looking at is like the real thing?
Yeah. So it seems like you're more interested in like the journey as opposed to, I mean, you are interested in the topics itself, but the journey and the tools is kind of.
Yeah.
Can I bring it back to
aliens?
To aliens?
Sure.
Do you mind? I mean, do you believe?
Number one, do I believe in aliens? Yeah, this was a question posed in class the first day. The question was like, do you believe that there are currently aliens in our galaxy? And I said no, not in our galaxy, but I said yes in the entire universe. Because our universe is composed of like thousands of galaxies.
Right.
And like galaxies are like one of the largest organized things that we see. Like massive. Like I often forget about like, oh, it's like one of the largest things that we see. So I'm like, there's gotta be aliens. I think my class is convincing me that like we're like nowhere close to figuring out if aliens are real or not.
Oh, just like
from like a detection standpoint.
But that's the idea of the third body problem.
The three body problem?
Oh yeah, three body problem.
Oh, I don't know like what the plot is.
Yeah, well, the concept itself is like the objects orbiting itself, and like it's hard to detect. But I think in the plot itself, there's three bodies or three suns orbiting each other in this show. And they were saying that because it's so unstable, like the other civilization has gotten like advanced, and then they're coming to Earth, like visiting and killing scientists. I only really watched the synopsis, so yeah. But the three body problem is like aliens, basically the plot. At least.
Oh, okay.
So you do believe that they're aliens?
Yeah, like not in our galaxy, but like it feels like the statistical chances. We can't be the only
life
forms of life.
But if there are aliens, let's say that there are we more or less advanced than them, would you say?
Yeah.
Like, are we the most advanced life forms currently, or are they just starting?
There's scientific perspective, and then there's like my perspective.
Let's hear both.
I think the scientific perspective, I think I'm going to quote my advisor on this because he also like legitimately does alien research.
Okay. Yeah.
He's like thinking about like, I don't know if I could quote his paper exactly, but like he's really interested in like, is it unique in the history of the universe, like when we formed, like when our planet formed, like, Earth formed like 4 billion years ago. Like, is our existence
unique?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, does life have to exist? Because the universe is like 13, 14 billion years old.
Okay.
The Earth formed like 4.7 billion years ago.
Yeah.
So like, did life have to form when it did?
When it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget the conclusions of his paper, but like he's really interested in that. I think if we believe that like okay, life had to have formed like later in our like universal history, then if you think about that, then I think we are on the more advanced side, because like the conditions for life happen to have come about in such a way that like made us, that might have been a rare occurrence. And that might have not happened at other places in the universe. Yeah. So I think that's it's an interesting way to think about it like that. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I'm going back to the idea, like I would have thought that like aliens, given aliens exist, given they have consciousness, I kind of think that they would be more advanced. Because the human race is like not that old in perspective of the universe.
Yeah. The quick like fact that I can like rattle off about that is like, if you think of the history of the universe in like calendar months, we have formed like something in the last like minute.
We're not in the days.
Yeah. We're like on December 31st at like 11:59 p.m. Like all of human history is like in that last minute.
Oh, like we're not even in the new year yet.
Oh, well, if you start, okay, so if you start the history of the universe, like the Big Bang happened on January 1st.
Oh, okay.
And then like, where we are now is like December 31st, 11:59. Yeah, so like in that last like minute is like everything that we have ever known. Yeah. And then there's like what about all the other months? Yeah. Like, that's what astronomy is really interested in. It's like what happened in those other months. Like, so yeah, getting back to like aliens being advanced. Yeah, I think that's like the intuition, and that's like also my intuition. Yeah. Like we can't be like with all like the shit happening in this world, like we can't be the most like advanced like society or civilization.
Of course. I mean, I see like some people I know, I'm like, we can't be the
certain people you're like are you the most advanced life form?
Yeah, like there's no way. So I wanted to also talk about music. Like for the longest that I've known you, the thing that I most associate you with is music, at least. Yeah. And I know you have a single out now. So I want to know like the process, I guess what that song kind of meant to you, or if you're comfortable.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So it's not my best work, but
honestly, I liked it. Like I got shivers when the harmonies, like because it's a bit of like lo-fi and folk. Yeah. To me at least. I don't know what you would categorize that as, but yeah.
Like there's a cappella influences in there. There's pop and like acoustic, and that was one of the first songs I ever wrote. Like
really? Period. That's pretty good for.
Yeah. Like I remember writing it in my like freshman dorm room in college.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like originally on like the ukulele. Like the first thing you hear is actually like a voice memo from like I was hanging out with friends, and like I was just like playing something on the ukulele, and I decided to like voice memo it. I was like, oh, this sounds cool. Like and then I like fleshed that idea out to form this whole song. I was like, oh, that's a really cool lick. Like, oh, let me incorporate it, and that's like the intro.
So you started with quote unquote the production, because I know some people start with like lyrics or like that side. Yeah. But you started with production.
In a way. I think I always start with the melody and the harmony. I am really good at writing, I guess, like catchy melodies. I often like, it's like the music first and then the lyrics. But it's kind of this game that you play, because you could do either. Yeah. Like there are some really talented like lyricists, and then they set it to music, and like I'm just always mind blown when that happens. Yeah. Then there's this game of like, you have to make the lyrics fit the melody. Maybe the melody like kind of inspires you to use certain words and phrases and certain rhythms, like the melody has a rhythm, then like the spoken word has a rhythm. Yeah, it's like kind of like poetry. It's like poetry you set to music. Yeah, it's like lyrics. Yeah. So of course I wasn't thinking about any of that when I was writing my first song.
Oh yeah, it was just like
just like
going for it.
Yeah. I think I remember talking about this song, in that I wrote it so the song is called Happy Place, but I wrote it when I was really deeply upset with maybe my life at the time. This was freshman year of college, and I'm sure a lot of people at the time, college is a hard adjustment. Yeah, for sure. Especially from high school.
Like new city,
like
no one you know.
Yeah. Just like you're like, this is the first time it feels like you're actually committing to something, and like like I'm gonna study this, or and yeah, I had a lot of like a struggle and like finding myself in that. So I think I wrote this song as like my happy place. And like I wouldn't say it's completely, maybe it's accurate to say that at the time that was my happy place, like what I describe in the song. The lyrics are literally like, in my happy place, you'll find a picture of you, open space, empty walls. That's like referring to like my dorm bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Because like that's where I felt most comfortable.
Most comfortable, yeah.
So yeah, that song took quite a while to produce. I thought I was going to be done with it the summer of my freshman year. I think I started like in the fall of my freshman year.
Did you release it like junior or senior or something?
I released it like 202021.
Oh, like
so that's
COVID.
like 3 years later.
Okay.
We're getting out of COVID.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That song, I think I had a very naive view of music when I first started out.
Interesting.
In that like, in terms of like music production. That
okay.
You know, it's my song. I'm the only one that knows how to, like how it will sound and how I want it to sound. And so I have to be in charge of doing everything from like the production, you know, figuring out the arrangement and the instrumentation.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of burden to
It's
put on somebody.
Yeah, a lot of elements.
Yeah. Like I thought that I think at the time I did think I could do it all.
But you did do it all.
I ended up doing it mostly by myself.
Okay.
There's a harp player on it that I found on Fiverr. I was like,
nice.
I was like, I can't play the harp. But like, can you please like help me? Like, I like gave her the part, and she was awesome with it.
Oh, nice.
And it was not mastered by me. So like, there's mixing and then there's mastering. Mastering is like
the levels.
Making sure that it sounds right on whatever like
platform
you're using, like on a phone or like, you know, computer or laptop. It's like kind of like a dark art. There are just like people that really know how to do it well. And it's like so hard to actually learn yourself. You usually need like a lot of like fancy equipment for it, and like sound treated rooms, and like as a bedroom producer, you're not going to have access to a lot of those things. So my naive approach was that I was going to do everything by myself. Not that I needed to, but that I like had to. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it wouldn't be true to myself if I had other people help me.
No, it's similar to like YouTube and editing, right? Like I feel like a lot of YouTubers don't really like to have their stuff edited by other people. They're like, oh, it's like not really my work, but like I mean, partially it is, right?
It's a form of like
line,
self-expression.
Right.
Like I can see that, like, you know, the way that you edit videos is like unique to you. It's like your fingerprint. But then you go through that process and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much. Like,
it's a lot.
This is overwhelming. This is why it took me 3 years to get right. I had a vision of how it sounded in my head, and I was also just completely new to music production. And so I very much learned a lot of the basics of music production through that song. And through like, oh, how do I make this sound? Like, how do I stack voices to make it sound very nice? Just like I had all the ideas in my head. It just like took a while to get there.
Would you say that it matches what you have in your head, or did they kind of evolve? Because for me, like a lot of videos, like I have a certain idea in my head, and then when I do it, it's kind of close to there. But then when I'm editing it, oh, maybe this is actually better.
I think at the end, putting the final touches on it, I was like, this just needs to be out there. Like
I know what you mean.
There's this huge. I guess like I suffered a lot from like perfectionism, like in like high school. Like every detail needs to be right, and something my mom would often say to me is like, just has to be good enough. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like just has to be good enough. And oftentimes you're unable to grapple with like the objective view of your art form. You know,
it's
your
hard,
music, your video.
It's hard,
That's when it helps to like, you know, get other people in on it and like watch it and give feedback.
Because you're probably making so many minor tweaks that it's like you forgot how far you came.
So by the end of it, I was like, let's just like release this. I remember like I wasn't sure that I was going to release it, and then I was like, you know what would make me release it even more is if I show it at my like university's songwriting club.
Oh,
and like show it to people.
A real drop.
Yeah.
Did you have like a listening party or?
No, so it was like the way like my songwriting club worked at my school was like, you know, you submit a song to an email and then we're just like listening to all the submissions. It wasn't on Spotify yet. It was just like this was like
just
one of some like drafts mix that I had. okay, like I'm just gonna see like what people think of it.
Yeah.
And like people thought it was really good. I was like, oh wow, like I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna like release it soon. Like, yeah. But that sort of like gave me the confidence of like, it's a really harrowing thing for your art to, it's your art and like you have that vision.
Yeah.
And then you share that with people, and then it's no longer yours.
Yeah.
It's no longer your like precious orb that you've been
Yeah.
like really like, I guess like cleaning off and like,
Yeah.
you know, making final adjustments to. I'm learning to, I guess, number one, incorporate more people in the process of, you know, making music, and number two, not being too precious about it. Yeah, I think those are easier said than done.
Both are pretty hard.
Yeah. I am working on a next song.
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah. An exclusive? No, I'm kidding.
No, exclusive performance right now. Yeah, so this was a song I wrote like in 2020.
Okay.
In
the archives.
It's funny. Like I had it for so long. I was like, wait, no, this is actually like I was very proud of it. And I was like, I want to actually like flesh this out. So I was in like a music recording class. Part of the class was like to make a demo for this song that you had. Yeah, and I was like proud of like how far I had gotten throughout that whole class. Yeah. And I was like, one day like I'm gonna make this a thing.
And that's the song.
Yeah, so about a year ago, I started like recording.
Oh, nice.
I started incorporating people into it. I was like, I can't play drums. Like, I need a drummer. I need to work with a drummer.
Yeah.
Learn how to communicate my ideas to somebody.
Yeah.
See what they do with it. Doesn't matter if it's like exactly what you had in mind.
Yeah.
You know, you're trusting people to like
their ability as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's in contrast to like my first song, which is like, you know, it's like all by myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to get like as many people involved as possible, and I think that's cool. It's definitely a healthier way of like making music.
Yeah.
More sustainable. I think you have a lot more fun too, because you're interacting with people and like you're.
It's a memory. It's an experience.
Yeah. So I'm currently in the mixing process for that.
Oh, you're almost there.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
I do have most things recorded.
Yeah.
And it's just up to like when I have time. I've been working on this mix, and I hope to release it sometime soon.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. No, I think it's gonna be very cool.
In terms of musical style, would you say it's completely different from the last song in terms of like?
Yes.
Okay. What genre different. Would you? Yeah, I know you kind of like to blend genres though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's like R&B.
Oh.
Kind of. Okay. Like jazzy. I can't like put a single genre on it. It's singer-songwriter definitely. Like you're hearing
the vocals
like
are.
Yeah, you're gonna hear me like sing about like something that's troubling me.
Okay.
Like a little bit.
Okay.
Or like something I'm like
that's on your
grappling
mind.
with. Yeah. And it's also very fitting because the song is called People.
Okay.
And I'm incorporating like as many people as possible.
As you can. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like guitars, like electric and acoustic. I got some friends to play like some brass instruments, so there's like sax and trombone and
very jazzy.
Trumpets and like flugelhorn and like
I don't even know what that is.
I had to like so it's like I forget if it's a richer or if it's more high frequency. But I had to like learn how to like work with horn players, and like I've never.
Did you like?
Did I conduct them?
Yeah, like did they all play at the same time or?
No, so we recorded them like separately. It was really fun to like learn how to like kind of like speak their language. I was like, how do you how do you do this? And like you know, I come from the world of like orchestra and strings and like keys. Just horns are like a complete mystery to me.
Yeah.
So
I actually was thinking this when you were talking. Like, I feel like the more and more I do more creative stuff, I feel like the more and more people have to be involved. Like, you know, there's this whole idea of like starving artists that's like some artist or author trapped in their room just like going at it. But I feel like these days the way that I'm thinking about it is like your perspective as well, like kind of incorporating more people, incorporating their talents, bringing this project to fruition.
It's very like aspirational to do something all by yourself. You definitely learn a lot that way. I don't know. There's just something about sharing your art and like trusting people to contribute to your art. Trusting that process is like, I think, sort of integral to an artist.
Because I guess if you're trying to be an artist in this world now, like you can't just do it alone. You have to have a manager, like to like bring someone else to collaborate.
Yeah.
I mean, let me know if I can help. If I can shoot a video or something. I don't know. Yeah.
No music video happening, but
yeah.
I don't know if I'm the kind of person to like shoot a music video.
Yeah. It could be a lyric video. No, I kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it to be in the world. I won't even like put a deadline on it. Like I can't. It's my passion project that I work on like the weekends and like when I am not thinking about planets, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Well,
back.
yeah, my GoPro died, but it's okay. I was gonna close it out anyway. So to close it out, thank you so much for coming, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna have you just write in the Yappy Hour journal.
Ooh.
So last time we took some Polaroids. She drew the drink that we had.
Oh.
And then just like rate it. So.
Oh, this is so much pressure. I'm so bad at drawing.
Oh, okay. I mean, you don't need to draw it. She's an artist. It doesn't have to be that detailed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a great drawer.
No, but that's like the fun part though.
Yeah.
Because like everyone has their own style.
Okay. Do I have to show this drawing to the camera? Is it encouraged? If it's encouraged,
It's encouraged.
then I will. Oh man.
I'll just put a.
It's gonna be so. It's gonna be a time.
I mean, you can make a song instead.
Yeah, I wish I had time to do that. I'll just do that.
It kind of looks like it though. Nice. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you so much for coming on. What'd you think of the whole experience?
I like Yappy Hour.
Yeah, Yappy Hour,
Nice.
Yappy Hour, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I certainly yapped.
I think we both did.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. Like, I want to like. I mean, I wouldn't normally like talk about space.
Yeah,
Given the
that's
opportunity to talk about just different topics with
Yeah.
different people.
For sure.
This has been Yappy Hour. Okay. Cut.
We're good.